15.
A very uncharacteristic start by Novak. Defeated Federer, of course, for his second US Open title last year. As he did in 2011, defeated Rafa Nadal in the final then 5 years ago. So twice a champion here is Djokovic, 4 times a runner-up. It's been a tough couple of months for Djokovic, with well rested now though. He's determined to prove the doubters that he's still the most dominant player in the world. Obviously, he's vying to win his 3rd slam of the season, having won down in Melbourne at the foot of the year and Roland Garros as well. But all eyes on the world #1 to see how that left wrist is. He practiced Sunday evening under the watchful eye of Boris Becker, and it all seemed well. Because, of course, he pulled out of Cincinnati prior to here as well.
40-30.
So, of course, we mentioned the fact that he had an early loss at Wimbledon and the Olympics, and sandwiched in between there was a brilliant performance again in Djokovic holds on then, gets his campaign underway against the talented Pole. Very, very dangerous. Has been ranked as high as 14th in the world in August 2013. Former semi-finalist, of course, is Jerzy Janowicz of Wimbledon. Very talented player. That was in 2013. Lost in 4 sets to Andy Murray, did Janowicz there. Murray, of course, lost in the Paris Masters to Jerzy Janowicz, his other real highlighted result. Novak's wife, Marin Vadia, on the left of your picture. Boris Becker, of course, on the right. Pretty packed house then. Thought there might be a little bit of an exodus after the Phil Collins opening ceremony. But people have stayed, obviously, to watch the world #1. Everybody curious as to his fitness level, frankly. You're in the company of Paul Hand. Great to have you along. Bullies everything around 3/4 length, doesn't he, Novak? Very keen to get inside the baseline, and of course terrific defence as well. But this man, a man with a thunderous serve. 6'8" tall he stands. Well, he likes to play drop shots, but that one was a little woeful, frankly. Very, very high, and uncharacteristically, Djokovic missing there. Courts out here in the US play very fast and bounce pretty high under the heat. Been as high as 31 degrees today, around 27 degrees at the moment. But the balls are by nature fast, as are the courts. That would suit Jerzy Janowicz, you would imagine. Oh, blistering forehand return from Novak.
15-30.
Action on 12 courts, 16 were used to start the day. So still a lot of action in NYC this evening. Well, again, going for the forehand drop shot. It really is a favoured pattern of play for Janowicz, but you feel at this stage almost kind of nervous, and already he's in a bit of a hole here on his own delivery. 2 break points then for Novak Djokovic here. A man who breaks the best servers in the world on a regular basis. Normally 1 in 3 service games, they say. A little too keen to get onto that backhand return, though.
30-40.
Janowicz still with work to do here over this colossal Arthur Ashe Stadium. 22,500 seating capacity. And they've had a real treat this evening. With Phil Collins, of course, cracking out those numbers as he does. Wonderful forehand angle. Now that's what you call a power angle from Janowicz.
Yes.
Turned pro in 2007. 200 pounds he weighs. Very strong man. Only 25 years old. Looks menacing, doesn't he?
Janowicz.
Got the beard going on as well. Got a big court presence, this man. Oh, 2 blistering forehands to secure the game. A game in which he had to defend a couple of break points as well, and crowd delighted with that one.
1 game over set.
He's a talented player, is Jerzy Janowicz, and when he ignites, he can just wrench the match out of anybody's hands. Novak Djokovic will be disappointed there not to have got the early break of the Pole's serve.
15 love.
He's reached at least the semi-final or beyond in the past 9 showings here, Novak Djokovic. Quite remarkable statistics. Never lost before the 3rd round in 11 appearances. Loves it here. And if anybody will rise to the occasion to follow Phil Collins out here, it would be somebody like the world #1. This man really sprung to prominence, did Janowicz, at the final of the Paris Masters 2012. That was his real rise to fame. Defeated 5 top 20 players. Murray, Tipsarevic. First qualifier since 2007 to reach a final of a Master Series event. Following Guillermo Cañas. Lost in the final to David Ferrer.
40-30.
There's a monstrous serve, as we just saw, consistently landing them around 130 miles an hour or so. And a very heavy ground stroke backup as well. and likes to go for the drop shots. We've seen plenty of those already. But you imagine somebody as solid as Djokovic will really be problematic for Jerzy Janowicz, who many people say, well, you know, for a man of such talent, he should have produced a lot better results. But he's been up against it fitness-wise, has Janowicz, over the years. A slew of injuries.
Yes.
Djokovic pegged back to deuce on his own delivery then. Sense perhaps a slight letdown, having not broken the Janowicz serve, having had a couple of break points.
Advantage Djokovic.
Second ace for Djokovic.
Again Djokovic.
Djokovic holds on then. Marginally in the ascendancy. No breaks of serve so far. 2-1 he leads in the opener. Over on court 12, Ryan Harrison, one of two brothers through. His brother Christian also qualified. Harrison with match point here against Adrien Manarino of France. This would be a great win for Ryan Harrison against the talented Frenchman. So super agile he is, the lefty. And to get past this fella in straight sets would be a terrific performance for the luminously clad Harrison. And he does do just that. 6-3 in the deciding set. Ryan Harrison through to round 2. Delighting his fans. So back live here on this cavernous Arthur Ashe Stadium, now clad with a new roof, of course, and well, typical style, isn't it? They spend $150 million on the roof, do the USDA, and then it's announced that we have terrific weather all week. Can you believe it? There we are, always happens. But it means that
ready for play.
Well,
please be seated. Thank you.
Will definitely be a Sunday finish. We've had 7 Monday finishes in this tournament in recent years. Jerzy Janowicz looking very businesslike, trailing 1-2, but on serve here.
$15 left.
Yeah, if you think Djokovic has had a hard time, think about this man. Spare a thought for him. He's had back injuries in 2013. Just after the US Open of that year. He was out for a month. And, well, during the US Open of 2013, he was reduced to serving underarm in 1 point. Bone in the Hopman Cup before he realised it. So he's got a very big frame, and it needs a lot of management. He's also had bad luck with viral infections along the way. But he's a bully of the tennis ball, and that's what he can do. On the cusp of a love service hold here. Semi-finalist Wimbledon 2013. 2014, the #1 pole finished top 50 for the 3rd year in a row. 2015, top 75, he finished. Runner-up in Marseille to Richard Gasquet. Lost in the final with a viral infection. So he's had real up and downs with his body and his condition, if you will. Going for a big second serve there. Just wants to check the mark. Not sure whether to go to the electronic review. No, but we're not going to go upstairs. He's content that it was just wide. He's a prickly sort of character, Janowicz. He can be a little awkward on court. Very strong-minded and characterful. He was runner-up to in a couple of junior Grand Slams as well, under 18. But he holds to 15. And he looks in the mood for a real tussle here this evening. Squares the match nicely then. 2 games all after just a matter of minutes. But back to Janowicz, you know, he's only 25 and he's got time to turn his career around. What a force these two are. Looking like a doubles pairing, aren't they, in blue? Matching attire.
15-all.
So rarely do you see such players with such a meteoric rise to stardom. This man's semi-finals of Wimbledon, final of the Paris indoors the year prior. And often a player like that crashes afterwards. We saw it with Eugenie Bouchard, Grigor Dimitrov as well. It's very tough to back up these good performances sometimes. That's what's happened to his ranking from those heady heights of 14th in the world. August 2013. Now he's down at just inside 250.
13-15.
But his body has not been kind to him. But he's the sort of man that should he get it together, well, stranger things have happened. He might be able to upset Novak, but I doubt it. Well, despite amazing defence from Djokovic, contorting his body as he does so often, unable to keep the pole off in there. It's another deep return game for the Polish #1, encouragingly. Well, 3 aces and 3 double faults for Novak. They still look quite nonplussed. But it's a breakpoint opportunity here for Janowicz. Just unable to make that final forehand. Djokovic remaining solid throughout. That's just cheeky, isn't it? A very audacious drop shot. awkward man to play because he hits this thunderous pace from all over the court, including serve and forehand and backhand as well. And then suddenly, with your court position deep beyond the baseline, he throws in that drop shot, and it's quite troublesome. Second breakpoint opportunity then for the Pole. Oh.
Yes.
No expression on his face, but I bet he's frustrated. Returned well there. It's a nice deep return, and Novak just blocking this one, just clipping the tape on the way through, very fortunately. Bobbled over the side of the Polish player.
Advantage, Djokovic. Game, Djokovic.
Brilliant. That's a really good hold from a perilous position for Novak Djokovic. Something we're quite familiar with. He holds on and leads 3-2 in the opening set. Novak Djokovic then just receiving a little treatment from the trainer. No alarm bells ringing just yet. But again, it's that... oh, hang on, it's not the left wrist, it's the right forearm. So Novak Djokovic then, the undisputed world #1, has had the trainer on. I don't think it's of any real concern. There's his wife. And on serve opening set. Both men have had a couple of break points on each other's serve. Novak Djokovic, of course, contesting this match against Jerzy Janowicz of Poland. Just getting a little tension out of the arm by the looks of things here, Novak. Medical timeout, so he'll get his 3 minutes. And he's enjoyed a 30-match win streak at Grand Slams from 2015 to 16. Of course, lost in the third round of Wimbledon this year to Sam Querrey in a match that many thought he might turn around overnight when he was trailing 2-0. Unable to do so. He became the 8th player to complete the career Grand Slam and 3rd to hold all 4 major titles at once. Well, the noise is coming from the adjacent court, the Louis Armstrong Stadium, where Taylor Fritz, I can tell you, has split sets with Jack Sock. They're going to deep into a 5th set over there. 3-love, Sock leads in the decider. But a very dramatic encounter, that one. That one's over on Eurosport 2 if you want to watch. Sock and Fritz. 4-love to Sock right now. Here though, Janowicz proving a tricky customer for Djokovic. Early doors here in the opening set, of course. This man, how dearly he'd love to really get a good run here. Defending, no points. Hasn't really got up to much of late. Here's Janowicz. He's only made it out of the US Open first round once in 4 appearances, the Pole. He's advanced to the 3rd round of the major 7 other times, most recently 2015 Australian Open. Defeated Monfils in 5 sets, lost to Lopez. There he is, he's just gone for the sit down as he's desperate to resume and get back on with things here. Well, they certainly had their fill of tennis. We've had 3 results on this court already. Roberta Vinci having a win first up against Annalena Friedsam. 6-2, 6-4. Angelique Kerber was awarded a walkover in the end. Well, 6-love, 1-love, and her opponent Herzog retired. Rafael Nadal came through against Istomin in straight sets. Jerzy Janowicz from Poland, ranked 247th in the world, serving 2-3 here against the world number 1. Well, he moved pretty well for a big man, 6'8". There's a lot of frame to carry around the court. But Djokovic will expose that, you'd imagine, more and more. So adept at creating angle on an opponent's court. It's a huge forehand down the line from Janowicz. Absolutely clobbered it. He's only lost 1 point behind his first serve so far. But only winning 50% behind his second. And that's the problem area against a man like Novak Djokovic. When you get mid-rally with him, you have your work cut out. Janowicz, whose both parents were pro volleyball players, has no points to defend here. So he's as free as a bird. And that certainly was a free swinging serve. His second double fault of the match, to equate with that of Djokovic. You're in the company of Paul Hand. This balmy evening from New York City. That's brilliant skills from Janowicz there. Wonderful soft hands off the low backhand volley. Did well there because Djokovic, look how quick he is with his explosive first step. Almost dug this out, and it was an impeccably hit backhand volley. How often do you see him turn points like this around? But that one dropping like a stone. Still plenty of tennis all around the grounds. 10 matches active. Look at that end range control from the man in blue. Incredible. Under a lot of pressure there. How he managed to get this one down low was quite remarkable. Look at this. Strong court positioning from Janowicz as well. Terrific work from the top hand on the backhand of Djokovic there to get the ball up and down quickly. Break point again then. Third of the match for Djokovic, surely this time. He had 15-40 in the opening service game of Jerzy Janowicz, unable to take it. Now this time off his second serve. Again, the pummeling forehand from the pole. Levelling up in this tight game. And you feel really it's only a question of time before Djokovic makes that kind of breakthrough. Needs to get that statistic up, that's for sure. Half an hour played.
Djokovic.
Well, those heady days of 2013, semi-finals of Wimbledon, lost in 4 sets to Andy Murray. who avenged a loss the year prior in the Paris Masters to this man. But we haven't seen much of him since. That's just the perfect lob. And you feel more luck than judgment, frankly. But he managed just to clear Novak Djokovic of the net there. Very short approach. Fends off a second break point this game then. With a telling return from Novak again, right on the baseline, but not if Janowicz has his way. He's gone for the challenge. He thinks it's out. Spurned of desperation, you feel. Carlos Ramos in the chair. So a third break point of this game. Djokovic does eventually break then. He gets the opening break of this match. He leads 4-2 in the opening set here on Arthur Ashe Stadium. Turning our attention quickly over to court 11 then, and a win for the American, Lauren Davis, prevailing in a punishing match out here against Alexander Sasnovic of Latvia. Very talented player, around the 60 mark, Sasnovic, but it's Lauren Davis who comes through. She's delighted, as are the fans out there on court 11. Lives to see another day. Does Lauren Davis, 7-5 in the deciding set. She'll be delighted with that.
15 left.
Another big American win for the tour man, John Isner. He won out on grandstand. Second match of the day there against Francis Tiafoe in that all-American clash. Tiafoe, the wild card, 125th in the world. John Isner, the 20th seed, coming through tie-break, fifth set. 7-3 in that deciding fifth set tie-break for Isner, the American #1. Huge upset out on court 5, first matchup. Kyle Edmund getting a career win against Richard Gasquet, 13th seed, ousted unceremoniously already. But back here, Djokovic is really starting to hit the accelerator, landing well, quite a few first serves in, but very effective when he does so. Yeah, so he's almost 60% first serves in. His opponent just 48%. Something that he'll have to land a lot more in, Jerzy Janowicz, to contest this one closer, you would imagine. Djokovic backing up the earlier break then. 3 games in a row for him. Very much on the front foot in this opening set now. 5-2 he leads against Janowicz. Well, welcome back. Novak Djokovic then in a commanding position here. 5-2 he leads in the opening set, just opting for some light snack and hydration. I can tell you at the very top of the draw he will meet Jiri Vesely or an Indian qualifier should he win.
Time.
Novak Djokovic then, top seed and defending champion, off to a flyer here. Bit of a slow start at the very start, at the top of the set, if you will. Had a couple of break points that he didn't manage to convert in the opening Janowicz service game, but now he's up and running very much. He's taken 1 of 5 breakpoint opportunities against this big 6'8" menace from Poland.
15 love.
A man of real talent who, when he does ignite, can be ever so dangerous. Former semi-finalist, of course, at Wimbledon, for those of you that are joining us. Just about almost 9 o'clock local time here in NYC. It's been pretty warm today. 31 degrees was the temperature spike earlier. Around 25 degrees right now. But of course feels warmer with all the humidity as well. First of our night session matches this. Madison Keys and Alison Risk to do battle afterwards on this court. Keys the 8th seed in the women's draw. Jack Sock closing in on victory. 5-2 up in the 5th set against Taylor Fritz in that all-American clash out on Louis Armstrong. My name's Paul Hand, and it's a real treat to have you along for this first Novak Djokovic match of the 2016 campaign here in Flushing Meadows. (40-15). Well, when he does land his first serve, 77% effect. Here's Janowicz winning 10 from 13 points, but it is about upping that percentage.
Again, Janowicz.
He holds to 15, but still,
Leads 5 games to 3 per set.
you would imagine the world #1 would probably close out here in this opening set on his own delivery. He's been unbroken so far, but has had to fend off a couple of break points against his serve. Here he is serving 5-3.
Mr. Janowicz is challenging the call. Right service line. The ball is called in.
Janowicz has only contested 2 matches so far this year. Well, worth a challenge. You can see why it was very close.
15 love. Mr. Janowicz
The call stands.
has 1 challenge remaining.
Djokovic so far this year, 51 wins, only 5 losses.
(15-all).
Well, the drop shot has borne some fruit for Janowicz. And anybody with such pace,
15-30.
particularly off the forehand side, is ever dangerous. Djokovic fully aware of that. He won't need reminding, but he is in a spot of bother here as he's attempting to serve out for this opening set. And again he gets his way. And again it was because Djokovic was well back behind the baseline trying to fend off the barrage from the heavy shots. Didn't see this one coming at all. It was great disguise from Janowicz, who backs it up well as well by closing the net down and restricting the options from the world #1. Big serve coming to his rescue, and the first of 2 break points against him. Can Janowicz take this further? He's none from 3 on conversion so far, Janowicz, in this set. Second chance here. Terrific serve and timely from Djokovic.
Abuse.
Becker just ushering quiet from somebody. So quick to close here, Djokovic. Multiple options there. Brilliant play from Djokovic, just had his man all over the court, giving him the windscreen wiper treatment.
Advantage, Djokovic.
So from 2 break points against him.
Game and first set, Djokovic, 6 games.
Well, the electric pace of the world #1 and the resilient defense of his court gets it done in the opening set. 6-3. He takes that first set. So back live on the Arthur Stadium then. Djokovic just about to resume set number 2.
Second set, Janowicz to serve.
Jerzy Janowicz. Can the Pole turn this one around? Trailing a set. And again, a drop shot faring well with that passage of play as Janowicz. Djokovic getting a bit tired of it, judging from the body language. Does it very well. Look at that, so tight to the net. Djokovic unable to do much with it because, of course, he had to get it up. Unable to inject any pace from that situation. And, of course, Janowicz is ever dangerous with the electric pace that he has off of his serve. And he's got a rich variety off the floor as well. Nice slice backhand, changes the speeds and spins well. But he's a man who, well, we've only seen glimmers of his brilliance over the years. Of course, we've talked about his injury woes, you know, throughout. He's had feet issues and, well, lots of back problems since 2013, frankly, where he had to retire from here. But many really keenly watching how this match unfolds because, of course, Djokovic with this left wrist niggle that seems to be fine. He said after practice on Sunday evening, watched on by Boris Becker, that the backhand was fine and he was able to hit over it well. Well, he's suffering a little humiliation here as the world #1. And he won't like it much. 47 minutes played and Janowicz takes the opening game in the second set. Can bring you another result from court 17. Milos Raonic is out on court 17. Show court 17, I should say. He's playing Dustin Brown of Germany, ranked 86th in the world, and the 5th seed, Milos Raonic, comes through in straight sets. He'll be delighted with that win against the talented, characterful, enigmatic Dustin Brown of Germany. 2 tall men then going toe-to-toe, but the Wimbledon runner-up having his way. 7-5, 6-3, 6-4, Raonic through, delighting his fans out on 17. Back here. Djokovic trailing a game in the second set, but leading a set against Jerzy Janowicz.
15 live.
Can tell you only 6 match courts have play left on them.
30 left.
9:10 local time. And the Sock Fritz match still ongoing. Out on Louis Armstrong. Brilliant play from Djokovic. Just changing the picture a little, coming forward there very effectively, foraying to the net. Good deep approach. Many people's tip for the title, vying for title number 3 here, Djokovic. And a collective
14-15.
gasp from the crowd as Janowicz unleashes another howitzer forehand. Pretty level in that department.
Again, Djokovic.
Djokovic holds nonetheless to 15 and squares this set. And it's a match, frankly, where Djokovic has just been returning more balls, and Janowicz, well, as we said all along, he's still below 50% first serves landed, and that's proved troublesome against the best, arguably the best returner in the world. Can he up that percentage? That's what it's all about. But of course, he's having to take big risks against Djokovic in the serving department, because of course, if he steps off the pace, he kind of knows that he's going to be attacked. So it's a tough line to tread. And of course, he's gone for some big second serves, but in doing so has yielded 4 double faults already. Now, this has been the problematic area when he's down on second serves. He's below 50% effect. Well, considering the length of the backhand return from Djokovic, Janowicz did very well to turn that point around and get on the front foot, but again, just too much power. And they're starting to increase those unforced errors. Well over, well, 2.5 times that of Djokovic. 15-6. Foot fault called. Not helping his campaign. He's not one for lying down, Jerzy Janowicz. Always stands up and kind of get the feel he's a little anti-authoritarian as well. But he can just do this. An incredible forehand down the line to the short part of the court. Hit with laser-like precision and so little margin or spin. Watch this. Quite Del Potro-like almost. Blistering pace. Just caught a glimpse of his coach there from Finland, Kim Tilkanen. Former player, of course, the Finn. Now, this is what he can do. He's done it again. Look, back-to-back forehand winners have suddenly brought up, much to his frustration, a couple more breakpoint opportunities for Janowicz. So game point opportunities, beg your pardon. He holds on, duly, and leads 2-1 in the opening set. You can see already just how dangerous this man is, but it's all about doing things just that little bit more consistently. Welcome back. Novak Djokovic in control here, set to the good, but on serve second set against a mighty Polish player, Jerzy Janowicz. 1-2, Djokovic trails, but 6-3 up. It's been a pretty solid performance from Novak, and more poignantly, the wrist is not troubling him, the left wrist that has been hampering him over the last few weeks. It seems he's pain-free. There's been no grimaces or wincing on the face, which is terrific for Nole fans. There's only been one break of serve in his favour, though. But Janowicz looking dangerous as ever. Well, that's a fantastic angle from Djokovic there in response to the drop shot, but Janowicz quick up to it. Packed house out here on Arthur Ashe Stadium. 22,500 fans treated during this point. Both men bringing their A game simultaneously. Look at this angle in response from Djokovic. And he got this one back as well, almost. Great end range control. Something quite languid about that. Great disguise, the way he came around the side of the ball. Janowicz moving that mighty 6'8" frame around very, very well. Deserves a bit of a break, does Jerzy Janowicz. He's had a plethora of injuries and illnesses over the last few years.
15-30.
Many sense, though, that if he were to win this match, it would have been the opening set that he really had to get going his way. This is a tough ask now to turn a match around when you're trailing a set to the world number one. Great length from Janowicz, peppering the baseline twice in that point. And of course, Novak Djokovic, after all of his forehands and backhands, having to recover tight to the incorrect because the ball was clearly on the line. But he's still 2 remaining as we approach the hour mark played. A couple of break points here then for Jerzy Janowicz. Snuffed out immediately by a telling, timely ace. 5th of his match. And remarkably, 6th, I should say, from Djokovic. Double the ace count of Janowicz.
Let the serve.
Janowicz here with a second breakpoint opportunity of this game. 6th of the match. Been unable to get across the line in that regard at all against Novak so far. And again, Djokovic just so solid on those telling points. As ever, playing the big points with an imperiosity. Short return, got what it deserved.
Advantage Djokovic.
Oh, that was kitchen sink came over the net there as well from Jerzy Janowicz. Remarkable passage of play by the big man. What a point. Djokovic ever resilient. Look at the length of shot and the thunderous tempo that he's playing at. This one comes back as well. Slam dunking that one away though. Almost frustrated that he's none from 6 on break points converted now. Here's Janowicz. Absolute rocket to the corner from Jerzy Janowicz. 247th ranked in the world. We know what he's capable of. Been ranked up at 14th a few years ago. Look at this, the way that he skipped up high to thrash that one away. Third break point of this game. Still he's denied by the solidity and dependability of Novak Djokovic under the utmost of pressure. None from 7 now for this man. That starts to weigh heavy. Oh, despite the wonderful changes in pace by the man with the neon shorts, he was unable to take the game further, and somehow, as he always does, Novak Djokovic fending off a couple of break points against him, and yet again with another game point in his favour. Houdini-esque. Now can Janowicz produce another moment of magic to keep the game afloat? No, unable to. Good second serve from Djokovic, had a lot of kick on it there. And he squares the set. Playing admirably under big point pressure, Novak Djokovic. This man still wrestling with his first serve percentage. Only 50% landed. Got to get it up to around 65%, you'd imagine, to really contest this one. When he does land it, he's 84% effect. But he needs to get more of them in as we cross into the second hour of this first round encounter. Nice try. Just a little too strong with the weighting on the backhand response there, Novak. Good end range control on this. Quick to get up here as well. Just overhitting this one a little bit. Well, the only result really for Jerzy Janowicz was reaching this year quarterfinals of a German challenger in Meerbusch. Lost in the first round of a Spanish challenge in Segovia to Vanni. He was sidelined by a knee and lower back injury from January to July, pretty much. And you really do feel sympathy, because you know he can play, as we've seen glimmers of absolutely brilliant tennis by this man. Good work from Djokovic, who's starting to get on to these drop shots just that millisecond earlier, which renders a little bit more effect when he gets there.
Let the serve.
Shame, because it was on course for an ace, but it just clipped the net on the way through. Looking frustratingly at Carlos Ramos there, as if to say, well, I didn't hear it. Well, is it 3 more winners has Janowicz, 18-15 against Djokovic, but of course the most telling statistic, he's hit almost 4 times the unforced errors. And that's why the scoreline is the way it is. The extended grunt from monstrous Pole, 6'8". Long, languid swings at the ball. He's got a very strong core as well. Vicious racket head speed when he gets it right. Game point for a 3-2 lead here. Well, the last thing he needs is a bit of a letdown right here, Jerzy Janowicz, because you feel Djokovic is preying on another return ambush here. But he's only succumbed once on his own delivery so far in this match, as Janowicz. Buckling serve, ripping that one down at 140 miles an hour. Second game point opportunity. That's the difference, isn't it? The ability to turn those points around is really commendable from Djokovic, who's so good at full stretch with that end range control. But Janowicz, in contrast, unable to turn that one around. That's the big difference. Novak Djokovic is reigning world #1. So good at defending his court. There's no doubting the Pole's aggressive instinct and effect, but his defence nowhere near that of Djokovic's. Second time a foot fault's been called. Brilliant. Well, I think Djokovic is wise to challenge there. That one felt kind of slightly wide to me, if I'm honest. So the challenge, no, he didn't challenge in the end. Just a gesture of frustration, flinging the arms around. So another game point opportunity for Janowicz. Oh, dispatches with the powerful off forehand and keeps himself in the lead here. 3-2 he leads in the second set, but trailing a set to the world #1. Well, it was always going to be a very watchable match, this one, wasn't it, against Djokovic and Janowicz. Fireworks guaranteed. Novak Djokovic getting the solitary break of serve to snatch the opening set, 6-3. But they're on serve in the second set, and it's been a fascinating encounter because the big, tall Pole, well, if he can catch fire, we know he can upend elite players. And he has his nose in front in this second set. Novak Djokovic far from having his own way, as people still spilling into this Arthur Ashe cavernous stadium to catch a glimpse of the world #1 and his adversary this evening from Poland. So far, Djokovic serving 18% more first serves in than Jerzy Janowicz, and that, you feel, at the end of the day, might prove very telling. Oh, we've seen that quite a lot throughout, though. Has this ability to just go in these phases of play where he just hits numerous forehand winners. Bodes well for Janowicz. Djokovic with his third double fault. First time we've seen that view of the Arthur Ashe Stadium with the retractable roof. Making its debut this year. It's been a very watchable encounter so far. All eyes trained on this one. Well, they say fortune favours the brave, and he certainly has been going after that forehand this evening. It's often come at a cost. Now another result through then. James Duckworth of Australia coming through against Robin Haase, 6-3 in the deciding set. Now, danger for Djokovic here. 2 more break points for Janowicz. And he's been toiling all evening, and finally he gets his breakthrough. Listen to what it means to him. He's delighted. He's now 1 from 8 on break points converted. And he did so in some style there. Well played. His camp are elated as well. Coach gesturing right now. This point right here. Come on. Don't lose focus. 4-2 he leads. It's the world #1 in the second set. Nice change up from Djokovic there. Varying the play very effectively. Can never write this man off, even if he surrenders his own serve. His returns So strong. Well, he's thinking about challenging, but he can't have that many left. He's been rather gung-ho tonight with the use of his challenge and opts not to there. Crowd sense that possibly there's an immediate break-back opportunity beckoning for Djokovic shortly. Well, that quite a letdown considering how well he played to break the Djokovic serve, and now suddenly 3 immediate break-back points for the world #1 here. Oh, conceded in a limp fashion. Janowicz there with a 7th double fault. Djokovic holds on, that breaks for 3-4 second set. So, and the beautiful skyline of New York City in the background there. Novak Djokovic breaks back immediately, having succumbed on his serve for 2-4. He's back on serve at 3-4 now, and a set up as well. It's been a very watchable encounter, predominantly because Janowicz has hit boundless winners, but of course with it has come, well, far too many unforced errors as well, as so many do against Novak Djokovic. And you can always feel like you have to play above yourself because this man just keeps getting balls back to awkward parts of the court. Novak Djokovic with 2 breaks of the pole serve, and Janowicz with the solitary break of Djokovic. Well, he's done a good job in out-acing his opponent this evening.
Djokovic, 4 games all.
Landing a timely 8th ace. Novak Djokovic off of that second serve. He holds his serve to love. 2 games in a row for him. Very much with the momentum now, as the gloom has gathered here in New York City on what's been a wonderful day of glorious sunshine all day on day 1, the opening day of the 136th US Open.
15 love.
But he served very effectively, Novak, today. 65% first serves in, and in contrast, this man almost 20% lower. And that's been the real standout feature of this match, if you will, the disparity in the quality of return. Well, you'd imagine his head is like a washing machine right now. He's starting to panic a little, you sense. There's been a lot of quick points going the way of the world #1, as he's eyeing a 3rd consecutive game here and a 2nd consecutive break of Janowicz, possibly. Now he needs one of those big blistering serves. Thought it was that, but just wide. Oh, audaciously struck, but it just missed its mark.
15-14.
We've seen a brutal display of power tennis from Janowicz, but unable to control the last ball. As the errors starting to mount thick and fast for him now. 2 more break points for Novak Djokovic. He's 2 from 6 on conversions. Oh, that's a brilliant response from Janowicz. Serve and first strike at its best here. Let's see it again. Look at that. Just gets up the court quickly. Transfers his weight well down through the path of that ball. There's a real efficiency about that. You could watch that time and again. So 1 break point saved, 1 to go. And you imagine if he succumbs here, then that's pretty much game, set and match against a man of Djokovic's caliber. But still he holds on to bring scoreboard parity in this set.
Advance towards Janowicz.
Well, commendably, Janowicz holds on to that service game, and the crowd delighted with that as well. 5-4. Janowicz leads against Novak Djokovic in this second set. That's a terrific game, really spirited from the pole. It's been a crackling atmosphere in this Arthur Ashe Stadium this evening. Janowicz has done very, very well to keep Djokovic at bay in this second set. Djokovic only 2 from 8 on conversions of break points, which is brilliant from Polish fans' perspective. Janowicz has shown already this evening that he can break the Djokovic serve. Did so for 4-2 in this set, but unable to hold on. He weakened on his next service game, but he stopped the rot now. There was 2 games in a row for Novak, and suddenly Janowicz bites back at the critical juncture in this second set. Day 1, of course, just 3 matches remain active around the grounds. Novak Djokovic, can he hold on here and square this second set against this dangerous Janowicz of Poland? And yes, we know that Janowicz has hemorrhaged quite a few unforced errors, 27 against only 8 of Djokovic. But if he can ignite at just the right time, we could go a set all. But this man has played the big points on off of his own serve very, very well. And it's a fine line of tempered aggression that this man treads here. He's hit through Djokovic on several occasions, but not consistently so. And there we are at the graphic there. 8 unforced errors to 28.
13-15.
If he can stem the tide and produce some timely brilliance, he can square this. But there's a lot of ifs and should in world sport. And very few of them come to fruition against the world number one. Cheeky play from Novak Djokovic with the second serve and volley. But Janowicz up to it. What a response from him to level this service game. Look how quick he is. 6'8" he is. Was a huge frame to get around the court, but good end range control as well. And the way he comes around the side of the ball when he gets there, very, very disguised. Oh, but that's a great response from the world number one.
14-13.
Landing the 9th ace of his match this evening.
Djokovic. 5 games all, second set.
Djokovic squares the match at 5 games apiece. Or the set, I should say. And puts Janowicz back in serving duty. He's a menacing force on return, no doubt about it. Despite the clever use of the slice from Janowicz, unable to control the last shot.
Love 30.
Suddenly danger for the big man. That's a brilliant response from Novak Djokovic there with a perfectly weighted lob. And it heaps triple breakpoint pressure onto the shoulders of Jerzy Janowicz yet again, who's been up against a lot of pressure on his own serve throughout this match. Both men have created 8 breakpoint opportunities, but here's 3 more for Djokovic. Fell off of that forehand very unusually. One sees the funny side, the other locked in focus. Two saved, one to go. Still no wriggle room for Jerzy Janowicz here. Very few opportunities taken on break points by both men. Credit to the quality of serve and backup of both. Oh, just as you thought, Djokovic did well getting the ball down low. Janowicz gets the racket head underneath it with real prowess. There's a determination etched all over his body language now, and an intensity as well of movement. Ensuring that one well. Four in a row for Janowicz.
Advantage Janowicz.
Five points in a row for Jerzy Janowicz as he holds on to serve and keeps his nose in front in this second set. 6-5 he leads. He's guaranteed a tie break. Novak Djokovic then serving to take us into a tie break. He's a set up 6-3, but trailing 5-6 second set, the world number one. Very spirited performance from Jerzy Janowicz, ranked 247th in the world. Serve the telling shot on a fast, hot, slick hard court. It's very much exaggerated. Janowicz has marginally upped his first serving percentage. Djokovic, well, he's up around 63%, commendably as well. In a very watchable encounter, this one. Now, he has to guard against complacency here. Because this man can just go on runs of points. And he's enjoying himself out here now, Jerzy Janowicz. He's just trying to catch the eye line of Novak Djokovic and get in his face. 2 points away from squaring this match. Big opportunity there, and he knew it. You wouldn't want to cross him, would you? As we approach 10 o'clock local time. Can Jerzy Janowicz get some tangible result for just the second time in this match? He's managed one break of the Djokovic serve. Ooh, wow, nobody anticipated that. His fifth double fault at that stage could prove very, very costly for the world number one. And a wince afterwards, concerningly. Two set point opportunities for Jerzy Janowicz. The reaction tells its own story. He's back and he squared this match. Jerzy Janowicz ranked just inside 250. Levels up here on Arthrash Stadium. And we're a set apiece. Well, there's the set 2 summary then, just proving that Jerzy Janowicz has engineered 2 breaks of Novak Djokovic's serve in that second set. Remarkably, Djokovic an untimely double fault just prior to give set point to Jerzy Janowicz, but who's been in defiant mood all night. He's shown a lot of character, has the Pole, and he's been rewarded for his tenacity. So we've split sets here, and you feel a lot of tennis to go in this one, that's for sure. A very spirited performance from Jerzy Janowicz.
Third set, Janowicz to serve.
Now, can he hold on here and increase the pressure on the world #1 as we start this third set after an hour and 41 minutes played? Janowicz thought he hit his forehand long. Crowd really have something to work with now. Slight angst in the Djokovic camp.
Love 30.
Crowd feeling a little let down there. The Pole, having engineered the point so well, couldn't put a lid on it. Well, an untimely double fault. 10th from Jerzy Janowicz. Bring up 3 consecutive immediate break points for Novak Djokovic.
Again, Djokovic.
Djokovic breaks to love and pierces the momentum bubble that was built from Janowicz in the set prior. Immediately, he's off to a flyer in this third set. 1-love to the good. Another result there. Bautista Agut coming through in the all-Spanish clash, the 15th seed against Garcia Lopez. Tie-break 4th set. That was out on court 7. The only other court in play is court 9, match between Jiri Vesely and qualifying Indian opponent. Indeed, the winner of that match faces the winner of this one. Jiri Vesely, ranked 48th in the world currently. He's deep into the 5th set against Maneni of India. Indian ranked 143rd in the world, the qualifier. Up against Vesely. 5-all in the deciding set. Deuce as well over there. Their prize, an opportunity to play the winner of this one in the second round. You're in the company of Paul Hand. It's a treat to be watching this with you.
15-all.
Well, Novak Djokovic has been wrestling with his own performance this evening.
30-15.
Only engineering 3 of 12 breakpoint conversions, 1 in 4 if you will. Normally he's a lot more effective, but of course credit has to go to the terrific timely serving from Janowicz. Not in the last service game, mind. That was a poor showing. Djokovic into double figures on the ace count. Just gesturing a little frustration. There's a contented purr around the Arthur Ashe Stadium now as the crowd have had their fill of terrific play all day. Just gone 10 o'clock local time. Wow. Hands down from the lines judge. Absolute rocket-like winner there from the forehand of Janowicz. We've seen quite a few of them all night. Indeed, he's hit 30 winners so far.
Djokovic.
But Djokovic just that little bit more consistent as he stares towards his camp with a meaningful glare. So he leads with a break of serve in this third set. Best of 5, of course, race to 3 sets. Well, only just spilling wide. He wasn't utterly convinced, just needed the confirmation of the chair umpire. Well, the only other men's singles match on this court was Rafa Nadal, who won in convincing form 6-1, 6-4, 6-2 against Denis Istomin, extending his head-to-head against the Uzbek 5-0. Fourth seed safely through then. Both he and Novak Djokovic, both twice champions at this event. Oh, brilliant from Janowicz. But is it a little too late as far as this set is concerned? Djokovic will be fairly strong coming into this match. He's not kind of overplayed, if you will. Far from it. Because of the left wrist niggle. No signs of that being problematic this evening, though. So the energy reserves for this man will be high. We know how supremely fit he is.
30-15.
Janowicz has to stay in touch here and hold on. Well, we saw just how brilliantly he can play in the second set, engineering 2 breaks of Djokovic serve. If he can stay in touch, hold on here, put the serving pressure back onto Djokovic and try and somehow eke out a break of serve.
(40-30). Left for serve. Janowicz.
Well, it's been perfect tennis drama, lighting up the first of the night session matches here on Ash. Novak Djokovic leading 2 games to 1 in the third set. Well, he's keeping a dangerous presence in this set, is Janowicz. He has succumbed on his own serve in the opening service game of this third set. Novak Djokovic in a commanding position in this set, serving 2-1 to the good.
Players are waiting. Please be seated. Thank you.
So there's a real palpable energy around the Arthur-Ashe Stadium as people spilling in all over the court to catch a glimpse of the seed in slight trouble, frankly. Not having all his own way against this dangerous Polish former Wimbledon semi-finalist. It's the highest attended annual sporting event in the world, of course, the US Open Tennis Championships, the second oldest of 4 Grand Slam tennis tournaments after Wimbledon. 136th staging of the event. This year's event features a number of major enhancements, of course, including the retractable roof over this stadium and a new grandstand stadium, completely redesigned southern campus to ease the crowding.
30 love.
All to increase the fans' delight, if you will. Janowicz has hit 10 more winners than Djokovic. But Djokovic ahead, strangely, on the ace count, 10-4. Now, you'd never have called that coming in. Here he is then with 3 game points for a 3-1 lead, just to stretch and create a little bit more daylight between these two in the third set.
Djokovic.
Djokovic holds on commendably. And in world #1 fashion does just that. Now, is there more music in this Polish giant? Becomes such a great watchable spectacle when he's free swinging and finding his mark with that thunderous forehand. But there's been just a few too many of them. It's a thankless task, though, playing the world #1. I'm sure you'll agree. And you can see how the unforced errors are just starting to hemorrhage. Brilliant from Djokovic. And if anything coming into this match was going to hinder the left wrist of Djokovic, it was going to be the weight of shot and buckling pace of Janowicz. Encouraging for all of his fans. When you look at their US Open records, 57 wins, only 9 losses over the years for Novak Djokovic, and 1-4 for Janowicz. Only ever won 1 match here, remarkably. That was in 2014, a couple of years ago, when he reached the second round.
15-14.
Quite astonishing. The man's been plagued with bad luck and injury, illness. But all he needs is a decent draw, and you feel that he can ascend the rankings again from where he is at 247th in the world. But it's 2 more break points for Novak Djokovic here.
30-40. Let second serve.
Well, that was perilously close to the back edge of the line as we approach the third hour here. Brilliance from Janowicz as he fends off another break point. Twice on his own serve. Sorry, 3 times I should say. He's managed to save 11 break points against him. Djokovic a little frustrated, unable to reach that. Now, this is where Djokovic normally makes his money. Second serve opportunity to return. He's winning almost 60% of them. Well, thrashed with a guttural roar, but it's still just spilt long. Djokovic with the third break point opportunity this game then. Brilliance again from Janowicz, who's gone to the well so many times with that forehand drop shot. So effective. You can see back then in 2012 when he reached the final of the Paris Masters, what an awkward customer he is on a fast court. Well, he had the rally in his palm of his hand there. Fourth breakpoint opportunity for the world #1. Well, Djokovic relieved to break again. 3 from 16 conversion, not really where he wants to be, but he'll be delighted to create a second break point there. 4-1 he leads. Well, Novak Djokovic normally so clinically efficient with his return games, but he's only 1 in 4 break points converted in this match generally. 4 from 16, if you will. Other results come through. That's the opponent that awaits the winner of this match. Yuri Vesely, world ranked 48th, through against the Indian qualifier ranked 143rd in the world from
15 love.
Out on a distant court. Now, can Djokovic consolidate all of the good work done so far here in this third set? Janowicz will be seeking some divine inspiration as he found in the second set when he broke Djokovic's serve twice. Ratcheting up the pressure now, Novak Djokovic.
Again, Djokovic.
Racing away to a 5-1 lead here in this set. Certainly got a businesslike look about him now. Well, he drilled the lob high into the night sky. And backed it up with an extreme ripper off the backhand.
Let for serve.
Well, many licking their lips at the prospect of this match unfolding, and it's been such a watchable contest throughout. Well, he's only managed to engineer 4 aces and 10 double faults as Janowicz. And the reverse for Djokovic. This man with bone-crushing power on his delivery. He's hit one of 140 miles an hour a serve earlier in the match, and multiple 130 pluses. But normally, pace doesn't trouble Djokovic. It's more the accuracy with that pace, that the twin combination to get past the world number one. But it's the second serve return where he's been making his money. Novak Djokovic, 56% effect when Janowicz misses that first serve. Well, there's been multiple results reeling along at the bottom of your screen. We've had 16 match courts in operation throughout the day, and this is the only one in action currently. Janowicz holds on and reduces the deficit to 3. It's Novak Djokovic that leads 5-2 in this third set. Well, we will be bringing you Madison Keys against Alison Risk after this match on Arthur Ashe. Keys, of course, the 8th seed in the women's draw. Eastbourne and Birmingham titleist, up against Risk, the other American, ranked at 60th in the world. Keys with a 4-love stranglehold in the head-to-head there, but it'll be interesting to see how she goes. Do join us for that one immediately at the conclusion of this match. Novak Djokovic then just a game away from this third set. And that'll put him in a commanding position, you'd imagine. But Jerzy Janowicz has proved very, very dangerous throughout. And as Djokovic will endorse, slight let up in concentration as there was at the back end of that second set where he was serving 5-6. And he succumbed. Dropped his serve then and dropped the set. And that really did buoy the energy of Jerzy Janowicz, who didn't pick it up after that very well.
Time.
Still a generous crowd then in the Arthur Ashe Stadium here. Such a treat watching these two extremes of stuff with such defensive skills as well.
15 love.
As offence, I should say. He's got the lot, hasn't he? Excellent accuracy with the second serve ace from Djokovic. His 11th. A little blip in concentration as Mrs. Djokovic looks on, looking very relaxed and assured. It's almost as if his mind has slightly got ahead of him and he feels like he's in the next set already. Got to fully attend business here. So much self-trust in that forehand dispatch from Novak Djokovic. I know it was easy, but there was just, look at it, it was just nonchalant almost. He knew exactly what he was going to do it. And hit that with thunderous pace. Set point.
Yes. Advantage, Janowicz.
Well, a bit up and down with the concentration in this game, Novak Djokovic. Rendering a breakpoint opportunity to Janowicz here. A very blasé game from the world number one. Just as well that Janowicz didn't follow up with the chase to that one.
Advantage, Djokovic.
Well, it's hardly been the normal clinical efficiency that we see at the business end of these kind of sets, but here he is with a second set point opportunity.
Game and third set, Djokovic,
6-2, he snatches the third set and he's 2/3 of the way into the second round is Novak Djokovic now. His camp delighted. Becker and Vaja on their feet. Welcome back as we peruse the set 3 summary. Well, we were doing, but didn't have much of a glimpse of that. But Novak Djokovic then in a commanding position at last. It's been a rough ride for him, really. His concentration's been a little in and out by his lofty standards. And Janowicz has taken advantage by taking that second set. But business resumed as normal for the world number one. 6-2 that third set. He snatched back in his favour. Bit of a wobble at the back end as he served it out, but he got there on the second set point opportunity. But you feel if Janowicz can get off to a decent start here in this set, as he didn't manage to in set 3, he could stay afloat here for quite a long time. Start of set 4 then, Janowicz to serve. Trailing 1-2.
15 love.
Well, it's almost like he was willing that ball over so he could just smash it away. He has an angry look in his eyes, and commendably he's upped his first serve percentage from sort of low 40% to 56% now, Jerzy Janowicz. That'll bode well, but he needs to hold on to this game here, very important. Whoa, it was a stabby backhand after the serve that pierced the corner of Djokovic, and a forehand from the top drawer to seal the deal. Well, he really is great to watch when he's on, Jerzy Janowicz. Makes the game look very, very easy with all the power that he has on tap. But the problem area being that he's rendered 48 unforced errors to this man, who is the king of inducing them and teasing them out from his opponents. Now, 3 game points have come and gone for Janowicz. Djokovic pegs him back to deuce with 3 in a row. Return points won. Always dangerous on return games, this man. You can sense the desperation from Janowicz, just trying to muscle through a service game out of desperation. Needs to hold on here. Four points in a row then for Novak Djokovic.
Left for serve.
He's been nibbling away at the confidence of Janowicz all night. Death by 1,000 cuts. Janowicz, in contrast, big, burly, heavy power tennis. Djokovic with a break point here.
Again, Djokovic.
Djokovic breaks again for the 5th time now, and that, you feel, a crushing blow for Jerzy Janowicz, who looks slightly despondent as they head around the umpire's chair. Just hydrating desperately on this warm evening in New York City. Novak Djokovic then very much in the ascendancy now. Break early in this 4th set, absolutely idyllic for him. Been far from clinical in conversion of those break points. 5 from 17. But he's getting it done.
Love 15.
Djokovic nonplussed, as if to say, I'll let you have that, because I know you can't do it time and again. But he can, that's the problem. And you combine that with a little bit of sort of slack concentration from Novak, and suddenly Janowicz is in. Needs a timely first serve. And he finds that angled ace. Well, an unforced error off the forehand side of Novak Djokovic, and it brings up 2 break points for Janowicz. Desperate to extend his bid here. There'll be a huge ring around this Arthur Ashe Stadium if he can break back. Denied for the second time in this game.
Led for serve. Advantage, Djokovic.
3 points in a row for Novak Djokovic. Put him on the cusp of 2-love.
Left for serve.
No.
Djokovic.
Well, arms aloft apologetically.
Djokovic leads 2 games to 1.
With a warm smile ekes across his face. Delighted to earn a 2-love lead in this 4th set. A must-win set from Janowicz's perspective. Now, can he bully his way through what he would love to be an emphatic service hold here? It's all getting too much for some. Such a rich fan experience here at US Open. We've had 16 courts to peruse all day. Well, normally the standout feature of his game, the return quality. He's been 10% more effective on receiving points won, 45% Novak Djokovic throughout the course of this match so far. Janowicz just 35% returning points won.
40-15.
And that's a commendable statistic against a man with such a rocket-like serve. Susan Sarandon, isn't it? Big table tennis fan as well, she is.
Game Janowicz.
Janowicz holds serve to 15 and stays in touch with
2-1
Novak Djokovic. Djokovic leading 2-1 and a 2-1 lead in this fourth set as well. Well, he's far from had all his own way this evening. It's been a tough match against Janowicz, and when you're playing against these big servers, it kind of feels like you're being bullied around, stretching all over the place because you've had so little time to respond against the weight of these fast serves, and that can be very, very tiring in itself. And you can see Novak's just shrouded under the towel. A moment's respite for the world #1. No doubting how supremely fit he is on his gluten diet and looking very lean and mean. Just chance to catch, well, hardly 40 winks, but you often see a player with their eyes closed, just perhaps visualizing or just trying to almost meditate, snatch any moment of relaxation that they may between points. The game is so physical these days, of course. Ever the gentleman, just waiting for the Polish giant to cross the chair first. So Djokovic then just 4 games away from round 2. Armed with a break of serve. He serves 2-1 in this fourth set. It's been a match of high quality from Novak Djokovic's perspective. 31 winners, only 17 unforced errors so far.
30-11.
He won't be happy with the fact that he's only engineered 5 from 17 break point opportunities, or break point conversions, I should say. But he's in a commanding position now. And the back behind backhand
40-11.
puts him on the cusp of 3-1 here. He would surely love to put this match to bed in 4 sets.
Game Djokovic.
3-1 he leads now in this fourth set. Jiri Vesely awaits. He's probably unaware of that, but he would have imagined that he would have beaten the Indian qualifier, and he did just that. 5 sets it was. But that's who he'll play second round should he come through here. Now, can this man contest this further? A lot of work to do now. It's a must-win set for Janowicz. He's treated us to some glimmers of absolute brilliance.
Love 15.
Trouble being that he's only played 2 matches this year, and he's lost both of them. Here's Janowicz, and you know what they say about winning being a habit. Well, this man very much is in that habit. Not of late. Lost Wimbledon 3rd round, US Open 1st round, but
Love 13.
he won in Toronto recently, beating world #6 Nishikori in the final. And surely this would prove terminal should Djokovic win one of these 3 points. Brilliant backhand pass from Janowicz. But in the context of things, feels a little too late, frankly.
Again,
Djokovic breaks again for the 6th time now, and the 2nd time in this 4th set. He leads 4-1. Very much in the driving seat now in this one. So other seeds in their little section, if you will. Well, Martin Klizan, the Slovak, the 28th seed, is also in that little cluster of players. Should he come through, well, the winner of this one come through against Jiri Vesely. Isner after that. In Isner's section was Richard Gasquet. He's gone, of course, to the spirited performance from Kyle Edmund, who's having a terrific year. Kyle Edmund up to around 80th in the world. Gasquet was seeded 13th, out in straight sets with a very tepid performance from Richard Gasquet, but full credit has to go to Kyle Edmund with that career result. John Isner's bound to be a little tired, having come through in 5 sets in that All-American encounter against Francis Tiafoe.
Time.
Djokovic doing a good job in stretching the lead and stretching his hamstrings prior to this game. Novak Djokovic then serving 2-1 up and 4-1 up in this 4th set.
Let the serve.
Well, we all wondered coming into this, didn't we? Would the big serve of this man be enough to keep off the return quality from Novak Djokovic? And the answer has been an emphatic no so far. Djokovic has engineered, as we thought, in the end, 6 breaks of the Janowicz serve this evening. But there have been spells, there have been little mini lapses that his camp won't be overly impressed with, you'd imagine, in the sort of post-match diagnosis. It's a brilliant angle, the way he walks away from it dismissively, though, as if to say, well, he's not going to get there, is he? He's thrown the kitchen sink at Novak Djokovic tonight, and you cannot complain at the effort that he's given.
Again, Djokovic.
Djokovic holds on and leads 5-1 now, just a game away. Patrick Mouratoglou has tweeted Janowicz could serve much bigger if his slice cut out wide would be slower with much more slice. It would be open up much more angle. That's a good point, because actually Djokovic has done exactly that, hasn't he? He's aced a lot more using that wide slice, taking a lot of speed off of it and carving out a very generous angle. Janowicz almost trying to hit his angle a bit too hard. Great point there from coach Mouratoglou, coach of Serena, of course.
15 love.
Well, it's all starting to race away from Janowicz a bit too fast.
$15.30. $15.40.
Now 13th double fault, and it brings up 2 match point opportunities for Novak Djokovic, the world #1 and reigning champion here at Flushing Meadows.
Game, set and match, Djokovic.
2 hours and 37 minutes. He stumbles through despite a stutter, yielding that second set. His camp on their feet. It's a match played in good spirit. But Novak Djokovic, the world #1, coming through 6-1 in the 4th set as he salutes his fans in a very watchable contest. So Novak Djokovic through 6-3, 5-7, 6-2, 6-1, just over 2.5 hours played. It'll be Jerzy Vesely who awaits in round 2. His wife is delighted, as well she should be. Just a little blip in set 2. But Jerzy Janowicz, what a decent match he played as well, showing a lot of character, and he's had a rough ride with injury and what have you, but he'll just be delighted, I'm sure, to have played such a competitive match against the world #1, to give himself an indication of where he's at. He just acknowledges his support. It's been a good performance from him. Should hold his head high as he heads back to the locker room. That'll bode well for his year. Let's hope he can stay fit throughout the rest of 2016. But we'll be hearing shortly from Novak on the on-court interview, as a lot of people staying around for our next match. Don't go anywhere. We'll be bringing you Madison Keys against Alison Risk next up here on Ash.